So we all know Elon Musk is about to ruin Twitter for the quintrillionth time. This is nothing new, all on point, as scheduled. But what I want to talk about is not so much his business related or financial blunders, but more so how I think having someone like that in charge of one of the largest social media platforms on earth, and also, more generally speaking, having him as one of the most wealthy and one of the most visibly wealthy people in the world is actually a good thing for the organized left today. Because the left has been in kind of a crisis of identity for the last 20 years, in the sense that the major rich, the people who are the biggest upholders of the status quo, that being tech tycoons such as Bill Gates, or people in the largest echelons of finance capital such as JP Morgan Chase, generally support liberalism. And they support the liberal social policies that are advocated for by leftists. Many of the democratic systems that are upheld by leftists in alliance with liberals. And so there's been this strange situation where people in the media, people who are in charge of large corporations, align with the left on a hell of a lot. And the left is somehow supposed to be able to optically get away with going out there and saying that we support the little guy and are against big corporations, but also it's really good that they align with us on these social issues, which are like more than half of what we talk about. It's just kind of weird. Like, something about it just doesn't sit right. And I'm saying this as someone who is left leaning, who, despite my unorthodox stances on abortion and a few other issues, I consider myself firmly within the left camp, because at the end of the day, those are the people that are going to fight for better public transportation. Those are the people who are going to fight against illegal spying and most likely for free software. Those are the people who are going to fight for drug decriminalization and legalization. Those are the people who are going to fight for trans rights. And so those are the people that I align myself with. For as much as many of their problems in the modern day pain me, and for as much as I disagree with them on certain social issues where I would be more of a religious conservative. But in any case, this Elon Musk thing, this guy, is a good thing for the left, because I see him as a sort of solution to the identity crisis of the left. You look at what he's doing now with Twitter. He said he was going to unleash free speech on the platform, and instead he's been actively banning and deplatforming journalists that disagree with him who happen to be left leaning. He has been propping up in the algorithm right leaning and especially far right voices, allowing open neo Nazis to be on the platform and even retweeting and repurposing many of their memes, and has been playing footsie with Russian officials, otherwise known as the leaders of one of the most far right governments in the world. This is all while he has positioned himself as a proponent, or one of the most vocal proponents of the Ron DeSantis campaign. A campaign that, in addition to signing legislation that makes it to where journalists have to register with the state if they criticize state officials, as well as unleashed a massive wave of legislation targeting peaceful protest, targeting LGBTQ rights, and rolling back the First Amendment in schools. He's also found a friend in Elon Musk. So much so that this guy who initially came out saying that he was going to turn Twitter into an equal platform where all speech is protected and treated equally, in addition to amplifying those far-right voices on the platform, in addition to banning left-leaning voices on the platform, and in addition to boosting those far-right voices in his own feed, telling people to vote for his preferred candidates, he also gave one of said candidates a massive platform in the form of a Twitter space that featured himself, Elon Musk. Him and Ron DeSantis do this Twitter space that is meant to launch his campaign, basically using the platform like to literally favor a certain politician. He's used his place as the CEO and his power on the platform to favor a certain politician. One who happens to be an ardent culture warrior who is rolling back freedom in the state of Florida, who many of his laws have literally been rendered unconstitutional by federal courts because they were so extreme in how they rolled back the freedoms of these various groups, or in certain cases, like with the First Amendment, literally everyone. This is the guy who Elon Musk wants to be president. A far, far right politician for American standards. And I think, as bad as that might seem on the surface, for the left, it's actually a good thing. Because now we can say, oh, you think we're not anti-establishment? You think we're not anti-corporate? Well, look at one of the most prominent, most vocal, wealthy men in the world. What is he, like the third richest guy? He literally supports this guy who wants to undo so many of our democratic norms in this country, and is using his financial and political clout as the owner of one of the largest platforms in the world to do exactly that, to tip the scales to get that far-right politician elected. This is great for the left. The left can say this, and if we do say this, we look like we're the anti-establishment once again, instead of the right wing who, by comparison, looked like they had no institutional support for their beliefs and goals. Well, now they do have institutional support. And it's not just the right wing, it's the far right in this country who has institutional support, thanks to Elon Musk. And so, maybe, just maybe, this identity crisis that the left has been having, where we look like we've been cozying up with the establishment, or perhaps even are the establishment, maybe this identity crisis has been resolved.